Today is May 14th edition of Back Roads of Illinois with Cesar Delgado. We're Central Illinois agriculture source and in the Midwest alongside in Central Illinois. We're glad you're here. I've been trying to get some planting done for this week, but the weather is wet and stormy. I saw the farmers is in the field in Central Illinois. I mentioned before that we were wet and stormy, so we are watching the weather for this week. This week is having CPI numbers on Wednesday afternoon from the Federal Reserve. McDonald's went risen down for their $5 menu for this week because the consumer can't afford it for food and drinks at McDonald's. We were talking with Chip Nellinger and Brian Basing for tomorrow's podcast about markets and the World Agricultural Supply and Demand Estimate Report. I mentioned before that the commodities markets with Nafb report is showing pretty crazy for right now. This time is for your agricultural news, the state of Alabama. Second state is going to be banned for cultivated meat or fake meat in Alabama. Second to Florida for banned for cultivated meat or fake meat in the United States. Russia will be in the freezing for their wheat crop. The markets are reaction to the freezing weather in Russia. And the Black Sea is blocked by Poland to Ukraine grain. The crop insurance could be strengthened. The Farm Bill for ARC and PLC by the legislation from Washington, D.C. This is your agricultural news for this afternoon. This time is for your agricultural commodity markets update minute on Back Roads of Illinois. Corn futures finished and down 8 to 9 cents. Soybean futures finished and down 3 to 2 cents. Wheat futures finished and down 8 to 9 cents. Now that we were going to talk about the livestock market for today on This Morning, cattle finished and up 8 to 9 cents per weight. Feeder cattle finished and up 7 to 8 cents per weight. Lean hogs markets finished and up 8 to 9 cents. We were going to hear about the Canadian rail strike in Canada and your crop progress report from Mark Schlusener from Springfield. Stay tuned on Back Roads of Illinois.
A strike vote went out to just over 9,900 affected CNCPKC workers. 98% voted in favor of a strike. The earliest the work stoppage could occur is May 22nd. A simultaneous work stoppage at both CN and CPKC would disrupt supply chains. We continue to work closely with the federal conciliators, but the concessions CN and CPKC are demanding will put our members and public lives at risk. There are non-starters for the Teamsters.
Canadian rail strike could be possible to be occurred in central Canada.
They can't find enough people to operate and traffic control trains. There has been a net hiring loss since 2021. Recent hiring incentives, bonuses are doing little to keep these employees long-term. CN and CPKC appear to be playing a dangerous game, hoping to force Ottawa to interfere in the bargaining process. They are aware, however, that the federal government states they will only intervene as a last resort.
Canadian Pacific Railway invests in $31 billion into Southern Kansas Railway into Canada and in the United States, Mexico. Same way to I-35 corridor.
The three unions representing nearly 10,000 railway workers, involving both CN, the Canadian National Railway, and CPKC, the Canadian Pacific Kansas City Railway, have given joint notice that their members have voted almost unanimously to strike action by May 22nd. This strike would affect both of Canada's national railway system. Just over a year ago, the Canadian Pacific Railway completed a $31 billion deal with Kansas City Southern and now operates under the name CPKC. Contracts involving locomotive engineers, conductors, and yard workers at CN and CPKC expired at the end of last year, and Teamsters Canada Rail Conference is currently attempting to renegotiate a third agreement covering CPKC rail traffic controllers. Rail transport is critical to Canada's economy and especially to its agricultural economy, being the most efficient carrier for bulk grain and potash. And nearly 70% of Canadian agricultural chemicals and fertilizers are delivered by rail. CN said in a statement that unions have opposed moving toward a more modern agreement based on an hourly rate and scheduling changes. Parties are far apart on agreement and are now observing a mandatory federal mediation period of 21 days, which will expire on May 21st. Paul Boucher, president of Teamsters Canada, along with other union officials, made the announcement of the potential strike action last week in Ottawa.
A strike vote went out to just over 2,900 affected CN CPKC workers. 98% voted in favor of strike. The earliest the work stoppage could occur is May 22nd. A simultaneous work stoppage at both CN and CPKC would disrupt supply chains. We continue to work closely with the federal conciliators, but the concessions CN and CPKC are demanding will put our members and public lives at risk and are non-starters for the Teamsters.
The union says the employees' primary complaint relates directly to longer working hours affecting operational safety, and all three unionized worker groups voted to authorize the strike action. Railway companies have been hard pressed to maintain a fully staffed workforce in recent years, according to Paul Boucher, president of Teamsters Canada.
They can't find enough people to operate and traffic control trains. There has been a net hiring loss since 2021. Recent hiring incentive bonuses are doing little to keep these employees long-term. CN and CPKC appear to be playing a dangerous game, hoping to force Ottawa to interfere in the bargaining process. They are aware, however, that the federal government states they will only intervene as a last resort.
Canadian Transport Minister Pablo Rodriguez said the government is concerned about a potential strike impact on the supply chain and urged the sides to negotiate in good faith. Reporting from Canada, I'm Dennis Guy.
Transport Minister Pablo Rodriguez said that we were hoping for a good faith in the TM master, but it could be impactful for the supply chain. Thanks for the audio from Chad Smith from National Farm Broadcasters Association in Platte, Missouri.
This is Mark Schlusener, state statistician for Illinois with the USDA's National Agricultural Statistics Service. I'm reporting on crop progress and conditions for the week ending Sunday, May 12. Wet weather slowed field work again in Illinois last week. The state average rainfall was 1.25 inches, and that was nearly 1/4 inch above normal. Temperatures averaged 64.3 degrees, more than 3 degrees above normal for this time of year. There were 2.3 days suitable for field work around the state last week, and topsoil moisture was rated 2% short, 69 adequate, and 29% surplus. That is a little drier than 1 week ago. Soybean planting advanced by 8 points and reached 39% finished. That compares to 74% 1 year ago and 43% for the 5-year average. 20% of soybean acres have emerged compared to 16% normally. Corn planting reached 42% finished, up 10 points from the previous week. That compares to 81% a year ago and 56% for the 5-year average. 25% of corn acres have emerged, and that is right on the 5-year average. The Illinois winter wheat crop is now 83% headed, compared to 64% last year and 52% for the 5-year average. The condition of the Illinois wheat crop improved from 1 week ago and was rated 6% very poor to poor, 17% fair, and 77% good to excellent. That is also better than 1 year ago. The first cutting of alfalfa hay is now 7% complete and other hay is 2% harvested. Finally, pasture conditions improved from last week and were rated 3% very poor to poor, 18 fair, and 79% good to excellent. That is a little better than 1 year ago. Thank you to everyone that responded to the crop progress and condition survey this week. We appreciate your assistance in telling the story of Illinois agriculture. There is still plenty of field work to do in Illinois, so please watch out for big equipment on small rural roads. This has been Mark Schlusener with the Heartland Region Illinois Field Office of USDA's National Agricultural Statistics Service in Springfield.
Thanks to Mark Schlusener from Springfield, Illinois, for the crop progress report. Thanks, Chad Smith from National Farm Broadcasters Association in Platte, Missouri, and Mark Schlusener. Well, folks, there is our show on back roads of Illinois. You can listen to our show on YouTube and whenever you are getting your podcast. For Back Roads of Illinois, I am Cesar Delgado. Have a great day.